Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about the Unit 18 Organization of Tissues. இப்போ நம்ம பாடியில் வந்து டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஆர்கன்ஸ் இருக்குது. பேசிக்காக வந்து பாடி வந்து ஹியூமன் பாடி வந்து செல் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு இது. இப்போ குரூப் ஆஃப் செல்ஸ் ஆர் கால்ட் டிஷ்யூஸ். குரூப் ஆஃப் டிஷ்யூஸ் இஸ் கால்ட் ஆர்கன்ஸ். ஆர்கன்ஸ் ஆர் மேடப் ஆஃப் ஹியூமன் பாடி அப்படின்னு இப்படி இன்க்ரீஸிங் ரேஞ்சில் போகும். Now we will discuss about our syllabus. Organization of tissues. Introductions. Unicellular organisms like bacteria and protozoans are made of single cells. On the other hand, multicellular organisms like higher plants and animals are composed of millions of different types of cells that are grouped into different levels of organization. Multicellular organisms have specialized cells, tissues, organs and organ systems that perform specific functions. Group of cells positioned and designed to perform a particular function is called tissue. An organ is a structure made up of a collection of tissues that carry out specialized functions. For example, in plants, the root, stem and leaves are organs, whereas xylem and phloem are tissues. Similarly, in animals, stomach, for example, is an organ that consists of tissues made up of epithelial cells, gland cells and muscle cells. In this chapter, you will learn about different types of plants and animal tissues and how they are modified to coordinate life activities. Plant tissues. Plant tissues are made up of vegetative and reproductive tissues. In general, plant tissues are classified into two types, namely meristems or meristematic tissues, permanent tissues. First, we will discuss about the meristematic tissues or meristems. The term meristem is derived from the Greek word meristos, which means divisible or having cell division activity. Meristematic tissues are group of immature cells that are capable of undergoing cell division. In plants, meristem is found in zones where growth can take place. Example, apex of stems, root, leaf, primordia, vascular cambium, cork cambium, etc. Characteristics features. They are living cells. Cells are small, oval, polygonal or round in shape. செல் வந்து ஒவ்வொரு ஆர்கன்ஸ்க்கும் ஒவ்வொரு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் சைஸில் இருக்கும். They are thin walled with dense cytoplasm, large nuclei and small vacuoles. They undergo mitotic cell divisions. They do not store food materials. Types of meristems based on position. On the basis of their position in the plant, meristems are of three types: apical meristems, intercalary meristems and lateral meristems. Apical meristems. These are found at the abaces or growing points of root and shoot and bring about increase in length. Intercalary meristems. It lies between the region of permanent tissues and is part of primary meristem. It is found either at the base of the leaf or the base of internodes. Lateral meristems. These are arranged parallel and causes the thickness of the plant part. Functions. Meristems are actively dividing tissues of the plant that are responsible for the primary and secondary growth of the plant. Permanent tissues. Second type, permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are those in which growth has stopped either completely or for the time being. At times they become meristematic partially or wholly. Permanent tissues are of two types, namely simple tissue and complex tissues. அப்போ அந்த பெர்மனன்ட் டிஷ்யூஸில் ரெண்டு டைப்பாக பிரிக்கிறோம், சிம்பிள் டிஷ்யூ, காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் டிஷ்யூ. Simple tissues are homogeneous tissues composed of structurally and functionally similar cells. Example, parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. இப்போ அதில் ஒரு டிவிஷன் பார்க்குறோம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் parenchyma. Parenchyma are simple permanent tissues composed of living cells. Parenchyma cells are thin-walled, oval, rounded or polygonal in shape, with well-developed spaces among them. In aquatic plants, parenchyma possess intercellular air spaces and is named as parenchyma. When exposed to light, parenchyma cells may develop chloroplasts and are known as chlorenchyma. அப்போ டிஃபைன் குளோரன்கைமா அப்படின்னு கேட்டால் இந்த 2 மார்க்கில் இந்த கொஸ்டினுக்கு ஆன்சர் சொல்ல தெரியணும். அப்போ பேரன்கைமா எந்த ஷேப், ஏரன்கைமா எந்த ஷேப், குளோரன்கைமா எந்த ஷேப் அப்படின்ட்டு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் படமாக ஸ்ட்ரக்சரில் உங்களுக்கு பிக்சர் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. டைப்ஸ் ஆஃப் பேரன்கைமா மே ஸ்டோர் வாட்டர் இன் மெனி succulent and xerophytic plants. It also serves the functions of storage of food, reserves, absorption, buoyancy, secretion, etc. Do you know பாருங்க, in potato parenchyma vacuoles are filled with starch. In apple, parenchyma stores sugar. Next, collenchyma. Collenchyma is a living tissue found beneath the epidermis. Cells are elongated with unevenly thickened walls. All of you turn over page number 212. Cells have rectangular, oblique or tapering ends and persistent protoplasm. They possess thick primary non-lignified walls. They provide mechanical support of growing organs. Sclerenchyma consists of a thick walled cells which are often lignified. Sclerenchyma cells are dead and do not possess living protoplasm at maturity. Sclerenchyma cells are grouped into fibers and scleroids. Fibers are elongated sclerenchymatous cells usually with pointed ends. Their walls are lignified. Fibers are abundantly found in many plants. The average length of fibers is 1 to 3 millimeter. However, in plants like Linum, Usitatissimum, Cannabis sativa and Carcros capsularis, fibers are extensively longer, ranging from 20 millimeter to 550 millimeter. Scleroids are widely distributed in plant body. They are usually broad, may occur in single or in groups. Scleroids are isodiametric with lignified walls. Pits are prominent and seen along the walls. Lumen is filled with wall materials. Scleroids are also common in fruits and seeds. Complex tissues. Complex tissues are made up of more than one type of cells that work together as a unit. Complex tissues consist of parenchyma and sclerenchyma cells. However, collenchymatous cells are not present in such tissues. Common examples are xylem and phloem. Now we discuss about xylem. Xylem is a conducting tissue which conducts water, minerals, nutrients upwards from root to leaves. Xylem gives mechanical support of the plant body. Xylem is composed of xylem tracheids, xylem fibrous, xylem vessels and xylem parenchyma. Xylem tracheids. They are elongated or tube-like dead cells with hard, thick and lignified walls. Their ends are tapering blunt or kissel-like or devoid or protoplast. They have large lumen without any content. Their function is conduction of water and providing mechanical support of the plant. Xylem fibrous. These cells are elongated, lignified and pointed at both the ends. Xylem fibers provide mechanical support to the plant. Xylem vessels. These are long cylindrical tube-like structures with lignified walls and wide central lumen. These cells are dead or these do not have a protoplast. They are arranged in longitudinal series in which the partitioned walls are perforated and so the entire structure looks like a water pipe. Their main functions is to transport water and also provide mechanical strength. Xylem parenchyma. These are living and thin-walled cells. The main function of xylem parenchyma is to store starch and fatty substance. இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவருடைய ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. longitudinal section of phloem tissues. Next, phloem. Phloem is a complex tissue and consists of the following elements: sieve elements, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. Sieve elements. The conducting elements of phloem are collectively called as sieve elements. Sieve tubes are elongated tube-like slender cells placed end to end. The transverse walls at the ends are perforated and are known as sieve plates. The main functions of sieve tubes is translocations of food from leaves to the storage organs of the plants. Companion cells. These are elongated cells attached to the lateral wall of the sieve tubes. The companion cell may be equal in length to a accompanying sieve tube element or the mother cell may be divided transversely forming series of companion cells. Phloem parenchyma. The phloem parenchyma are living cells which have cytoplasm and nucleus. Their function is to store food materials. Difference between xylem and phloem. இப்போ சைலத்துக்கும் ஃப்ளோயத்துக்கும் உள்ள டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் என்னங்கிறத ஒரு டேபிளேஷன் மூலமாக கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. Xylem phloem contains water and minerals. Phloem contains organic solutes or food materials. Conduction is mostly unidirectional from roots to apical parts of the plant. Conduction may be bidirectional from leaves to storage organs and growing parts or from storage organs to growing parts of the plants. Conducting channels are tracheids and vessels. Conducting channels are sieve tubes. Components of xylem include tracheid vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Components are sieve elements, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. All of you turn over page number 214. Phloem fibers. Sclerenchymatous cells associated with the primary and secondary phloem are commonly called phloem fibers. These cells are elongated, lignified and provide mechanical strength to the plant body. Difference between meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. இப்போ permanent tissueக்கும் meristematic tissueக்கும் உள்ள டிஃப்ரென்ஸை டேபிளில் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அப்போ meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. Cell wall is thin and elastic. Cell wall is thick. Common cell are small, spherical or polygonal and undifferentiated. Common cells are large, differentiated with different shapes. Cytoplasm is dense and vacuoles are nearly absent. Usually large central vacuole is present in living permanent cells. Intercellular spaces absent, intercellular spaces present. Nucleus is large and prominent. Nucleus is less conspicuous. Cells grow and divide regularly. Cells do not normally divide. Provides mechanical support and elasticity to the plant body. provides only mechanical supports. Next, we will discuss about animal cells. An assemblage of one or more types of specified specialized cells held together with the extracellular material constitute the tissue. The study of tissue is known as histology. Simple tissue, a group of cells that are similar in origin, form, structure and work together or perform a specific function. Compound tissue, a group of cells different in their structure and functions but coordinate to perform a specific function. Animal tissue can be grouped into four basic types on the basis of their structure and function: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nerve tissues. First we discuss about epithelial tissue. It is the simplest tissue composed of one or more layers of cells covering the external surface of the body and the internal organs. The cells are arranged very close to each other with less extracellular material. Epithelial cells lie on a non-cellular basement membrane. The epithelial tissue generally lacks blood vessels. The epithelium is separated by underlying connective tissue which provides it with nutrition. There are two types of epithelial tissues. Simple epithelium is composed of single layer of cells resting on a basement membrane. Compound epithelium is composed of several layers of cells. Only the cells of the deepest layer rest on the basement membrane. Functions of epithelial tissues. The skin which forms outer covering of the body protects underlying cells from drying, injury and microbial infections. They help in absorption of water and nutrition. They are involved in eliminations of waste product. Some epithelial tissues perform secretory functions: secretion of sweat, saliva, mucus and enzyme. Next, simple epithelium. It is formed a single layer of cells. It forms a lining for the body cavities and ducts. Simple epithelium is further divided into following types. Squamous epithelium. It is made up of thin flat cells with prominent nuclei. These cells have irregular boundaries and bind with the neighboring cells. The squamous epithelium is also known as pavement membrane, which form delicate lining of the buccal cavity, alveoli of lungs, proximal tubule of kidneys and covering of the skin and tongue. The products of the body from mechanical injury, drying and invasions of germs. Cuboidal epithelium. It is composed of single layer of cubical cells. The nucleus is round and lies in the center. This tissue is present in the thyroid vesicles, salivary glands, sweat glands and exocrine pancreas. It is also found in the intestine and the tubular part of the nephron. As microvilli that increase the absorptive surface area. Their main function is secretion and absorption. Columnar epithelium. It is composed of a single layer of slender, elongated and pillar-like cells. These nuclei are located at the base. It is found lining the stomach, gallbladder, bile, duct, small intestine, colon, oviducts and also forms the mucous membrane. They are mainly involved in the secretions and absorptions. இது காலபரண எபித்தீலிய செல் ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரக்சர். மேலே பார்த்தது cuboidal epithelium. Next, ciliated epithelium. Certain columnar cells bear numerous delicate hair-like outgrowths called cilia and are called ciliated epithelium. Their function is to move particles or mucus in the specific direction over the epithelium. It is seen in the trachea of windpipe, bronchioles of respiratory tract, kidney tubulars and fallopian tubes of oviducts. இது வந்து இப்போ பார்க்கக்கூடியது வந்து என்னது ciliated epithelium. அடுத்து glandular epithelium. Epithelium cells are often modified to form specialized gland cells which secrete chemical substances at the epithelium surface. These lines the gastric glands, pancreatic tubulars and intestinal glands. இப்போ இதனுடைய ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் இது படம் வரைஞ்சி பார்த்துக்கிறணும். ஷார்ட் கொஸ்டினில் உங்களுக்கு படத்தோட ட்ரா த ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் ஆஃப் கிரானுலர் எபித்தீலியம் அப்படின்னு கேட்குறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்குது. நெக்ஸ்ட் காம்பவுண்ட் எபித்தீலியம். Compound epithelium, it consists of more than one layer of cells and gives a stratified appearance. Hence, they are also known as stratified epithelium. The main function of epithelium is to give protections to the underlying tissues against mechanical and chemical stress. They also cover the dry surface of the skin, the moist surface of the buccal cavity and the pharynx. All of you turn over page number 216. Next, we will discuss about connective tissues. It is one of the most abundant and widely distributed tissues. It provides structural framework and gives support to different tissues forming organs. It prevents the organs from getting displaced by body movements. The components of the connective tissues are the intercellular substance known as the matrix. Connective tissue cells and fibrous connective tissues is classified as follows. Connective tissues, proper connective tissues, supportive connective tissues. அப்போ அதாவது இந்த கனெக்டிவ் டிஷ்யூ ப்ராப்பராக இருக்குது, சப்போர்ட்டிவ் கனெக்டிவ் டிஷ்யூ எப்படி ரெண்டாக பிரிக்கலாம். அடுத்து டென்ஸ் கனெக்டிவ் டிஷ்யூ, அடுத்து ஃப்ளூயிட் கனெக்டிவ் டிஷ்யூ. அப்போ இதில் என்னென்ன இருக்குது அப்படின்னா ஏரியுலர் அண்டு அடிப்போஸ் டிஷ்யூ, கார்டிலேஜ் அண்டு போன், டென்டோன்ஸ் அண்டு லிகமெண்ட்ஸ், பிளட் அண்டு லிம். ஒவ்வொரு கனெக்டிவ் டிஷ்யூலையும் என்னென்ன உள்ளே இருக்கக்கூடிய இது ஃபங்க்ஷன்ஸ் அதனுடைய பார்ட்ஸ்கள் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி தனித்தனியாக ப்ராக்கெட்டில் போட்டிருக்காங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் கனெக்டிவ் டிஷ்யூ ப்ராப்பரில் என்ன ஏரியுலர் அண்டு அடிப்போஸ் டிஷ்யூஸ். அப்போ கனெக்டிவ் டிஷ்யூஸ் ப்ராப்பர் கன்சிஸ்ட் ஆஃப் கோலஜன்ஸ் fibers, elastin fibers and fibroblast cells. Areolar tissues, it has cells and fibers loosely arranged in semi-fluid ground substance called matrix. அப்போ இதில் ஒரு ஷார்ட் கொஸ்டின் டிஃபைன் மேட்ரிக்ஸ் அப்படின்னா அப்போ in areolar cellulose it has a cells and fibers loosely arranged in semi-fluid ground substance called matrix. It takes the form of fine threads crossing each other in every directions, leaving small spaces called areolae. It joins skin to muscles, fills space inside the organs and is found around muscles, blood vessels and nerves. It helps in repair of tissues after injury and fixes skin to underlying muscles. Next, adipose tissues. Adipose tissue is the aggregations of fat cells or adipocytes, spherical or oval in shape. It serves as a fat reservoir. They are found in the subcutaneous tissue between internal organs around the heart and the kidneys. They act as a shock absorber around the kidneys and eyeballs. They also regulate the body temperature by acting as insulator. Supportive connective tissues. The supporting or skeletal connective tissues forms a endoskeleton of the vertebrate body which protect various organs and help in locomotion. The supportive tissues include cartilage and bone. Cartilage, they are soft, semi-rich, flexible and less vascular in nature. The matrix is composed of large cartilage cells called chondrocytes. These cells are present in fluid-filled spaces known as lacunae. Next, cartilage is present in the tip of the nose, external ear, end of long bones, trachea and larynx. It provides support and flexibility to the body parts. Bone. It is a solid, rigid and strong, non-flexible skeletal connective tissue. The matrix of the bone is rich in calcium salts of collagen fibers, which gives the bone its strength. The matrix of the bone is in the form of concentric rings called lamellae. The bone cells present in the leucine are called osteocytes. They communicate with each other by a network of fine canals called gannaliculi. The hollow cavities of space are called marrow cavities filled with bone marrow. They provide shape and structural framework of the body. Bone supports and protects soft tissues and organs. இப்போ இது வந்து TS of bone. Next, dense connective tissues. It is a fibrous connective tissue densely packed with fibers and fibroblasts. It is the principal component of the tendons and ligaments. Tendons. They are cord-like strong structures that join skeletal muscles to bones. Tendons have great strength and limited flexibility. They consist of parallel bundles of collagen fibers with their present rows of fibroblasts. Next, ligaments. They are highly elastic structure and they have great strength which connect bones to bones. They contain very little matrix. They strengthen the joints and they allow normal movement. Next, fluid connective tissues. The blood and the limb are the fluid connective tissues which link different parts of the body. The cells of the connective tissues are loosely spaced and are embedded in an intercellular matrix.